Hi, this is Elliot Fishman. I think we're live. And hello, this is CTisus. Today's Thursday. Today's December 3rd. And I'm coming to you directly from the RSNA in Chicago. It's not very crowded. I'm having a problem. I'm in McCormick Place and I can't find anybody. There's absolutely nobody here. I don't see anybody. I don't see where the convention center, I'm at the convention center, I think, but I don't see any exhibits. I don't see any companies. I don't see, I can't figure out where to hang my poster. It's just not the same. And I think that's really my summary of this year's RSNA. So we're in the middle of RSNA. Today is Thursday. Today would be the day, normally at 1 o'clock, all the commercial exhibits would close. If you were the person who was giving a refresher course on Thursday, you would have a select few people. Thursday was the day when people often would go downtown in Chicago to go shopping because the meeting would end tomorrow, Friday. Friday, there was always some refresher courses in the morning, and all of us have given the refresher courses on Friday. It's not as much fun as giving it on Monday when the crowds are the greatest. I think I remember my first RSNA when I spoke, I was doing a course, one of those 8-minute little things, and I was giving the last session, the last talk on Friday. And those were the days with slides. And the only person left was me and the projectionist. The guy who was moderating said, I got a plane to catch. Elliot, introduce yourself, which I did. I introduced myself to the projectionist and he said, listen, when you finish, take your slides and go. So it was a short talk, really good crowd. I mean, I spoke to myself. So it was really great, and that was how I started my career. So it's all a big success story from there on. But RSNA, we had 4 refresher courses, and we, unfortunately, we did record them. There was 2 of them on cinematic rendering, and you could, if you registered for the RSNA meeting, you could look my name up, and there was one with Linda Chu, and then one with Linda Chu and Steve Rowe, which was more general, and then one advanced. I also did a thing on vascular with pitfalls of CTA, and I did another refresher course that looked at renal arteries and runoff studies. So it's all there. Some of it has sound, some of it is just slides, and we had some exhibits. And one of our people, Claire Brookmeyer, won the Magna Cum Laude Award for liver transplant, so that was really good. But it's not quite the same. Oh yeah, we got one other thing. Let me move out of the way here. I can put it up here. Let me see if I can show it. It glares a bit, but this is our And Mini 2020 Best Educational, is that what it says? Best Educational Mobile App, CTisus iQuiz. And this is, I think, our 12th And Mini, so we thank And Mini, and we were live on And Mini the other day. And it took a while for me to get it because they mailed mine, not that And Mini, but the company that produced it. They mailed mine to someone else, and they gave me somebody else's. Ruth Carlos, I got her Best Educator Award, and she got my Best App Award. So at the end, we decided a few bucks changed hands, and we decided we swap awards. But so that was really good. That was great. I think all of us, Chicago is always one of the really exciting times of the year, right? It was one of those times where you'd be able to see a lot of things, be able to do a lot of things. You would see a lot of friends. You would see the greatest from equipment. I think you can, you can basically see things online. I think a lot of the vendors have things, but it's not the same thing. I mean, looking on a Zoom at some equipment or looking at some latest and greatest thing is okay, but it's not the same thing as kind of kicking the tires, seeing it. It's also, you like to see where the crowds are, what people or other people are thinking. You really aren't doing that because everybody is working. All of us are working today and the whole week. Maybe listen to a few things. I think if you signed up for the RSNA, and if you're an RSNA member, a radiology member, you pay dues, you get it for free. And I think you can listen to most of it for a few months. So there really is no urgency. And I think people just said, okay, I'm going to be working. We're all busy. I think with COVID going crazy, what we are seeing at Hopkins, and probably you're seeing at your hospital as well, the number of COVID patients is going up drastically. Kind of reminds you of April, May. And in fact, across the country, the numbers are higher than it was last April and May. And then we're still doing a lot of the other people aren't shutting down like they did it in April and May. The volumes are probably, I think right now, I would guess that we were in the 95% range to pre-COVID. Probably it's down a little bit, and that's what people are telling me from elsewhere. Down a bit, and I don't think you're going to see a big uptick. I think probably things will be flat for at least 3 or 4 months until the vaccine comes, and perhaps even go down depending how bad COVID gets, depending how busy the hospitals are. That will determine how much elective surgery and elective procedures can be done. So I think that's going to be one of the challenges in the near term. I think RSNA is a good time. We always like to think about our research and what we're doing and finishing up, because literally today's December 3rd, 3 weeks till Christmas. We just presented, and maybe I'll give a talk on that on CTisus, our latest and greatest from the presentation to the Lustgarten Foundation on deep learning, what exactly we're doing with deep learning, where we're going, how our work is with pancreas, and a lot of really good things in terms of lesion detection, classification, also analysis of both AIP, autoimmune pancreatitis, neuroendocrine tumors of the pancreas, pancreatic cysts, and well as pancreatic adenocarcinoma. Many people are doing all sorts of work, looking at early detection, looking at management, looking at outcomes, looking at neuroendocrine tumors on resection versus following based on analysis of radiomics features, perhaps. So there's a lot being done, and I know this year at RSNA there were a lot of talks about that. Last year at RSNA, for the first time, there was a downstairs where they had all the AI people. It was the AI showcase. The last couple years before that, it was way, way, way in the back. It was like a random, it looked like a bunch of homeless people at the RSNA in the back there. This year, it was a lot different. Of course, we're remote, but there are some things that you could hear. I heard a wonderful talk. I'm biased, so you got to take that into consideration, by Kimberly Powell from Nvidia. She gave the state of the art of Nvidia, did a Q&A for about an hour the other night, Tuesday night. You can go and listen to it. It's very much worthwhile listening to. It's obviously a lot of it is what Nvidia is doing and what they're working with, but Nvidia is AI. That's the bottom line. There is no AI without Nvidia. And whether you're a company or whether you're a research institution or you're a researcher, you are using Nvidia. They are AI, and I think it's well worth listening to her talk of what they're doing. It's just, you kind of lose track as she's speaking about how many things are going on in so many places, from federated computing, how they're able to use that and work on COVID, how a lot of the molecular markers and a lot of the planning for vaccines and drug development is being done through Nvidia. So there's so many things that are going on. I think it's a good look at where things are, and they were answering a lot of questions, her and there was another person with her answering questions about how do you get started in AI, how do you answer questions, how do you define what the questions are. And they were speaking about AI far beyond just the way I think about it is detecting pancreatic cancer, early image detection. They also spoke about scanner design, optimization of protocols, many, many things that would indeed make a difference. So let's see. I'm happy to take questions today. So there's John Biacchino. John's home today, and thanks for the congrats on the Ant Mini. And then Whitney's saying the RSNA floor looks different this year. Yeah, so Whitney is not at RSNA. Whitney and I did refresher courses on social media for about 3 years in a row. That was very successful, mainly because of Whitney. But she had, you do your 3 years at RSNA, and this year she's not going to be at RSNA. And now we got Isa Malamin from the Sudan. Hello. So we got a worldwide spread. So we are working on a bunch of different things, as mentioned RSNA, and thinking about how to do things. I think looking at we are redoing some of our apps. We're working with, and I'll share this with you as it gets closer, with a really good app developer in California who is helping us redesign some of our apps. We're going to focus, the first one is going to be on the spine. So that should be really on the L spine, redoing it in a different user interface. And the question is, should we be using different interfaces? Remember, CTisus, whether we do Facebook, whether we do Twitter, whether we do Instagram, whether we do apps, we're always looking not to change for change's sake, but to make things better. And like I did on the And Mini interview, they said, well, what's next? I said, next, we're doing something great. We always got to do something great. We've won the computer award 4 times out of 8, I think 2 or 3 times in a row. We should have won all 8. We got robbed 4 times. So our guys, Lily, Sarah, we don't focus on the 4 we won. We focus on the 4 we lost. So we need to win 5. Remember with was it the Patriots or was it the Bulls? We need 1 for the thumb, right? They give Super Bowl rings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 for the thumb. So this year we're working for the thumb. Sounds very obnoxious, and I'm sure it is, and Whitney will tell me that after. But we are working really hard, looking at different things, looking at different strategies of what we can do. So I think that becomes very important. Also, in terms of technology this year, RSNA, what could have you seen? There's a lot of scanner development from some of the leading vendors like GE and Siemens. New scanners, new technologies are going from the research side of things into the practice side of things. I think you're going to see a lot of stuff coming with Apple. Apple introduced their new chip where they make themselves rather than Intel or AMD. That chip is very quiet, very powerful, generates little heat. The new MacBook, which is a small one, which is using the new M1 chip, which is called basically the way it works is you don't have to turn your computer on and wait for the computer to come all the way up, which takes a while on my computer, even though I have a latest and greatest MacBook, 16-inch. But it takes a while because I have so much data. The new Mac works like an iPhone. So you put the computer on, just like your phone, you press a button, the phone comes on. That's how the computer works. And then you're going to have the integration of all of the apps from the phone to the iPad to the computer. A lot of stuff will have to be redone to keep it in native language and stuff like that. But I think in the big picture, it's going to be spectacular. And Apple introduced some stuff a couple weeks ago. I think as Apple has said, and you can read in the press, so I'm not telling you anything out of school, there will be significant new products coming out over the next 3 to 18 or 24 months, taking advantage of this new technology, which really is truly going to be breakthrough. I think also, let me see, today is December 3rd, so I have to wish a happy 29th birthday to Liliana. Liliana's in Palo Alto. I'm sure having a big party of 1 or 2 for her birthday because Liliana's being careful. And on the West Coast, particularly in Palo Alto and those areas south of San Francisco, people have been very good. The numbers I know at Stanford were always very low because people are indeed very careful, recognizing that although people do better with COVID, with the different medications and steroids you can now do, and a better understanding of respiration and everything else, the last thing you want to do is get COVID. So at this point, you just need to hold tough, and we'll get to the other side, hopefully by sometime late next summer, and hopefully we'll be back in business this time next year. Now, I'm not sure we're going to be at RSNA next year. That's going to be a reach. The thought that we'd be back at a big meeting in person without wearing masks, that's going to be somewhat of a challenge. But one can hope if we could get things controlled and take that curve and drop it to the bottom by summertime, perhaps it could happen. I think it's going to be a challenge. In my opinion, you may see some smaller meetings at the end of 2021. I don't really believe you're going to see anything substantial between the fall till the winter to spring of 2022. I know we've run courses 37 straight years. This will be the first year I will not have a course in February since 1985, which is like a lifetime ago. But we hope that we're going to miss 2021, but we're hoping that we could be back in February 22 in Orlando at the Swan or wherever else we can make it. But I think we're looking for President's Weekend 2022, so hopefully you'll join us and we'll join ourselves also. So I'm looking forward to that. as we try to change things around. Um, Other things of note are that on the Facebook, you could see we really are adding a whole bunch of new features. The other thing is many of you use Instagram. It's very impressive. I'm not a big Instagram user generally or at all, but Lily's been a big pusher of Instagram, and as of last week, we have over 100,000 followers on Instagram, which is really, that's like one of those numbers where you're like, you're somebody, you're something special, because if you have that, you can probably sell lingerie or beauty products or whatever products you want to sell because you have a big following. Now, I'm not sure anyone's going to follow us to buy clothes or shampoo or hair products, glasses, or anything else, but 100,000 plus is really something spectacular, and Lily deserves most of the credit for really making that work. So we are very excited about that. And if anyone has any questions, I'll be happy to answer. I know it's getting harder and harder having these. We do these things at 12 o'clock because people have liked it, but I think now particularly everybody is so busy all of the time. It's really it's amazing how busy that we are. Patients are sicker, demands are higher, staffing is lower. Everybody is kind of really stressed out. So I think it's a matter of playing through this. So if there's no questions, I guess I'll stop there. Again, you can go to RSNA site, register. Most of you can register for free, and take a look. There's a lot of apps there. Our lectures are there. They look really good. Some things are hard to find. The navigation tools are not what they needed to be. RSNA had a tough job. To their credit, this is not what they wanted. They're a live meeting. That's what RSNA is, a live, in-person, hands-on meeting. That's how it's designed. Well, it was not going to be this year, so they did a great job kind of moving all the forces, and it's not a small meeting. It's easy to move a small meeting. It's impossible to move an RSNA, and they should be commended for doing a really good job. I feel bad for some people, like people who won the gold medal. It's wonderful to get the gold medal in RSNA or the ACR. But imagine getting the gold medal and then having to get it on some video instead of being at the Airy Crown and having 6,000 of your friends congratulating you. So, but congrats to the winners of the gold medal. Congrats to everybody. Congrats to you all for surviving RSNA week. And this is the first time you've come from RSNA and you haven't had a cold. I don't know about you, but everyone I know, including myself, who rarely gets sick, when you come back from RSNA, you always have a cold. I don't really understand it. Is it the weather? It's not been that cold. Is it being inside or outside? It's not that bad. You're not partying all night. I stopped doing that a while ago. What is it about RSNA? Maybe people from all over it's like kindergarten, 1 million people bringing germs in from foreign countries, from far reaches in the United States, from your home country, from everywhere. People sneezing and coughing and just breathing. You could see why you couldn't do an RSNA in the COVID era for many reasons, including the fact that you can't do something where you have so many people coming home with a cold, and then we'll all be sitting around getting COVID spit tests or whatever tests you want to use. So with that, I'll say thank you. I did turn my thing. I'm going to show you. So see over there in the picture. So Max gave me this really good drawing of a snowman, and Max sent me I love you card right there, and that's my Christmas card. So I do have a lot of good stuff up there. The bottom stuff in red here, by the way, it's hard to read from there unless you're closer. It's faded a little bit. That's Jensen Wang, 2016, explaining how he runs the company. This was a very good explanation. The stock was 18 or 19 here. It's now 250. So that must have been a good explanation. If I only understood it and listened, I did listen, but I didn't understand it. I would have been good. Anyway, with that, I wish everybody a great day. And oh yeah, one last thing. I run the speaker series. We publish a lot in JACR. There's a book, A Blessing, Women of Color Teaming Up to Lead, Empower, and Thrive, by Bonita Stewart, who's at Google, Jacqueline Adams, who used to be CBS News, two incredibly successful women talking about, and they'll be talking with us tonight about the book, their philosophy on leadership, their philosophy on the difficulty of being a person of color, particularly a woman of color, and how they managed to survive and excel. Now, I can't put that online live because sometimes with Zoom, people try to do bad things, like they Zoom bomb you. We did that one time, one of our talks, and sure enough, now that was at the beginning of COVID, and there's a lot more security now, but if I put up the passcode, it creates all sorts of issues. So many of you I know, if you email me, I'll be happy to send you the link. 5 o'clock tonight, 5 to 6, there'll be about a 30 plus minute talk and then a Q&A. It should be outstanding. And our speaker series continues. We will have Keith Grossman, who's the editor of Time Magazine, will be speaking to us, I think, on January 12th. We will have Linda Carter on January 28th. Linda Carter, the name sounds familiar to you. Linda Carter was the original and one and only Wonder Woman, who's had an incredible, amazing career far beyond Wonder Woman. And she'll be talking to us again about a number of different issues and a number of different strategies. So I think that's going to be exciting. And again, I'll give you a plug for this book. It's a bestseller. It's really a good book. You can see I'm yellow. I marked it. But you can get it on Amazon or wherever your bookstores are. Amazon's really good. 1-day delivery. I don't own any Amazon stock. I wish I did. I should have bought it when they told me to at 9. Now it's 3,009. Anyway, have a great day, and maybe we'll see you later at the lecture. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Bye, guys.